Welcome back to Chat Lab. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ethan. This is the podcast where thoughts are tested.
Today we're going to be talking about death, the afterlife, and everything else.
Yeah, so a bit heavier than our
specifically.
usual topic, but we both believe there's room for discussion here, so we just thought that would be this week's topic.
Yep. So we can get into that in a bit, but first, how are you?
You know what? I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing really well, actually.
Explain.
Feeling good. So what have I done in this past week? Well, I've started college again. That's been fun.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was wondering why you were
three-
always up early.
3 days into college. That's been fun. I've been continuing my workout, so I've been doing a workout 6 days a week, and I've been running for 3 of those days.
So do you do weightlifting for 6 days a week, or
Yeah.
is it like three weightlifting, 3 running?
No, it's 6 weightlifting, 3 running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I do weightlifting and running.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, and that's going pretty well for me. I feel like I'm making progress. I'm trying to gain weight. I feel like that's going a little bit steadier as well. And I'm looking at cutting at the end of March, like a slow cut until about June. Just to have a low body fat and look aesthetic for the summer. Like a slow cut, nothing steep. So, because I feel like by the time I've bulked for 2 months, I'll be around about 70 kg, and I feel like that's a good cruiser weight for me to go into a cut.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, that's what you get. That means you'd gain like 5 kg, is it?
From now I'd have gained 5 kg. Yeah.
Oh, not bad. It's pretty good, alright though. But I don't know, man. I just don't have the same like gym motivation at home. But then again, I don't really have enough equipment for it, so that might be a factor. I know you don't need equipment as well, but like I don't know. I will say VR fitness is good because you're playing a game, but you're actually working out, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like the easiest. I'd say it's probably the easiest way for me to like be burning calories because it's like, you can be constantly moving, and you're also standing, and it's pretty useful.
Whatever gets
for,
you
like,
moving, like.
calorie burning. Yeah, I mean, I got that Fitness XR game. I think that's what it's called. I don't know why it's not called VR, but and I was doing boxing in that, and literally, it was like I took a shower because I was just sweating so much after that because I did it's like constant boxing for like, I think I did like 30 to 40 minutes or something like that, but it was like constant boxing, so I was sweating after it like.
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
Yeah, so like my hair was super sweaty. Like I was wearing cozy pants as well, like lounge pants. So like my legs were wet inside the pants.
yeah,
But the pants weren't like, didn't show any signs of sweat at all. So it felt really weird walking around like trying to get to the shower. I was like, I need to go now.
yeah. I'm actually changing my split for the 6 days I'm doing it. I've recently been doing, what was it? Chest and shoulders, then just back, and then legs and arms, and then I do that again, and then I rest on Sundays. But Arnold Schwarzenegger's original split was chest and back. Then shoulders and arms, and then legs and abs. And I feel like just trying that out, because the more I change around my workouts, as long as I'm doing the workouts, the more shock I give my body, I guess.
You said chest and back makes sense. Sure, isn't this not what you used to do? Chest and back, shoulders and arms, and then legs and abs.
No. At least if I did it, it would have been like a year to a year and a half ago, and I didn't stick with it enough for me to remember.
I'm fairly sure.
Zoran might have done it before.
I'm fairly sure that's very similar to like a push-pull thing.
It is, but it also
legs.
isn't, because chest is push. Sorry,
Chest is push.
Back is pull. It's what it's doing.
True.
What it's doing is
It
it's
was-
working out. It's working out muscle groups in the same area of your body. So, because when you work out, like blood flows there, and that's kind of, that helps with the whole working out thing, right? So if you work out your fucking shoulders and then your legs, blood's rushing from one side to the other. Whereas if you do like chest and back, it's all in your torso. You do shoulders and arms, it's all in your upper arms and body. And you do legs and abs, it's also all there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people generally do abs with legs anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah, I don't feel like going too heavy on the abs anyway, just because I don't feel like intensively training them.
You probably have a good like natural abs anyways.
A lot of people do. It's just like I have lower fat than most people. That's all. It's like a lot of people actually already have that. Some people don't, but a lot of people have a good core. They just don't realize because it's covered in fat until they actually cut, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't need to do abs every day for the last 6 months. I could have just lost weight." Because you'll find that if you do abs all the time, you'll end up with like boxer abs. You won't end up with they come like too bulky almost, and sometimes that's not nice.
Like they're almost merged, like
it's like they're huge, and I don't.
Oh, like stumps, like humps.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's not very attractive to me. So, but yeah,
I don't necessarily find I don't necessarily find not that it's part of my everyday thought, but I wouldn't even find like those like merged kind of flat, like weird shaped abs. I wouldn't find that attractive either.
I think those are just genetic disformations, though.
Maybe, but
yeah, I don't think people train those to look like those, unless I'm misinterpreting.
Maybe you are. I actually have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. Yeah, I'd say weight training won't be happening for me for a while, but like realistically, like I'm not exactly like how you say weak. I'm just more so like on the heavier side, so losing weight would be like.
Could always do cardio for that.
Yes, so like losing weight would be the most important part.
Yeah, fasted cardio would probably be the easiest way to get into that. You wouldn't have to adjust your diet too much, really. Just run when you wake up or cycle when you wake up or something.
Yeah, and I know it's not necessarily conventional because every time I've said this to someone, they're like, you probably should just bulk and then cut or whatever.
Hey, look, if you want to lose weight, you got to lose weight. It's like if you want to be big, you should probably, bulk now and then cut. But like if you just want to lose weight, then just lose weight. Like no,
No, but what I'm saying is that like I didn't get to finish my sentence. God.
Because you brought this up to me before, so I thought that's where you were going.
I ruined it.
Yeah. Go on.
Anyway, no. So what I was trying to say is that like it's not very conventional, but to lose the weight first and then build muscle after. Like I don't really care about losing the muscle while I'm losing weight because I've already.
You just prefer to lose weight, is it?
I already have enough muscle to where like I'm not worried about losing it.
Okay, yeah.
Like I don't have like flimsy arms and I'm like, well, if I lose weight I'll have, sticks as arms. Like no, I'll be fine, And then from there I can build muscle because I'd rather build muscle while skinny than build muscle under a layer of fat,
Yeah, if that's what you feel.
Yeah, I mean it's not very conventional, as I said, because a lot of people are like,
if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do,
Yeah, because I feel like it would just be. It's easier anyway. You have one goal, lose weight.
Yeah.
You have one goal, gain weight or gain muscle, really. Whereas like cutting and bulking is like this whole thing.
You gotta really be into your fitness to do cut and bulk, I think.
Yeah, because you're trying to eat a lot to bulk while also working out, and then you have to cut where you get like a massive deficit while also working out. And it's like, yeah, no, I'd rather just like lose the weight and then gain muscle after,
and then maybe do bulk and cut or whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, right? So this week I started dipping my toes in the life of finances.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this week has been a big learning experience for me. I've read a book called The Little Book.
You read a book?
I've read a book. Yeah.
Wow.
and I'm in the middle of reading another book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. If anybody cares, you can probably find that somewhere online. So I've read that book, and I've been playing around with eToro, a virtual stockbroker, and I've been virtually investing to like practice and learn things. And I know it's going to be a long learning curve, but I'm very, very excited to be getting into this because it's not just like a hobby. It's like something I'll need for my future.
I suppose, yeah.
Like, let's say I get a really good job as a developer or something. I'm making 60K a year, right? But let's say every like 2 years I switch jobs just because of the way the job market is. I'd have like no pension plan by the end of my retirement. So if I know how to like budget my money, hedge my funds, and actually invest and use compound interest and things like that, I can actually retire, or at least have a good, future for any of my descendants, I guess, or any of my near family. Like, it's very smart. It's very smart to do, I think. So,
what is it, NASDAQ or something like that?
Yeah, NASDAQ is 100 companies in America. I think, I don't know if it's just in America, but it's 100 companies, whereas S&P is 500 companies.
Oh, well, either way, I basically like made a bet that it was like I'm using Libertex. Their app just seems nicer. Like, it's a bit more user friendly, considering I went on eToro, had no clue, went on Trading 212, had no clue. So
I've been using eToro like recently again because I figured out some analytical tools you can use on there. It has so much information like about the companies and things like that do really, really help with choosing your right investment. Like,
yeah. So I basically like made a bet or something. I can't remember exactly what I clicked, but all I know is that I was like, it's gonna crash. So because it had this steady curve of going up a lot and then crashing and then going up and then crashing. So I was like, well, then I'm just gonna. It's up right now. Let's just. It's.
Are you also virtually trading, or is this real money?
This is virtual now.
Okay, cool.
And I saw it was going up steadily, and I was like, okay, well, even if it gets to as far as this mark, I was like, eventually it will crash. So I was like, grand. So I like betted it basically against it, and I ended up like getting a profit of like 1,000 and something.
How much did you invest in it?
I don't know.
It must have been a lot if you got 1,000 back.
I think it was 3 or 5K or something.
Right. Yeah.
So
other than like my mishap with a penny stock, where eToro lagged and I mistakenly bet $5,000, I have been trying to realistically place trades. So I've been opening trades for like $50, $60, things like that, because I want to simulate what it's actually like to actually trade. So when I finally put real money in, it won't feel any different.
I saw this thing actually that was I don't know what site it was. It might have been eToro that it's like a sophical graph or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called now. Don't quote me on that. Like,
that's fine. I'm not very financially literate either.
It's some kind of graph like that, and it basically shows up underneath like the trend, and it shows you underneath. Then there's two lines, right? And a good common practice. This is for Bitcoin, anyways. I don't know if it's for everything.
RSI
it's an RSI, yeah.
Residual strength index. That's a graph, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it starts with S. I think it's like sophical or something, but I couldn't tell you. And when the two lines are above, that's when you sell, and if they're below this little like purple area, if they're above it, then the two lines, then you sell, but if they're below it, then you should buy then.
Right.
And it kind of just helps you figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can buy Bitcoin then and like sell in and whatever, and you can also like set it up so that like it will automatically sell. You know those things where it's like automatically sell if it gets this low.
Yeah.
And automatically buy if it gets this, or automatically sell if it gets this high, and automatically sell if it gets this low.
Yeah.
No. I
No,
can't
you can.
remember.
Yeah,
You know what I mean.
Yeah. So like basically,
You know what I mean.
like you can obviously study the graphs and make predictions like you were saying you did, but a lot of like good results come out of researching the stock you're investing in and seeing what they're coming out with and what that could potentially mean for them. For example, like Matthew invested in this company called Plug, right? It's a hydrogen fuel company. Just because he's been investing in all these renewable energy sources, just because he likes them and stuff, and then he invested in them because he saw that they have partnered with some car company, what's it, Volvo or something like that, to make a renewable energy powered car or something like that, and their stock has skyrocketed, and he's actually making severe profit off of it. So it's that kind of
Yeah.
like research and things, and prediction into the future, like accurate
I
predictions that
mean,
really make it for you.
some people have like 20 million graphs RSIs, whatever, around them, and they're keeping up to date with the business. So like, yeah, you can get really good at predicting stuff. But Bitcoin falling 22%. What?
I mean, yeah, that happened. What was that now? 5 days ago, I think.
No, I think it was like a day or two ago.
It
Or
wasn't.
yet?
It wasn't
Well,
last night.
last night or the day before, I sent you the thing on Snapchat that said like, this is happening.
Yeah,
One of those stories.
Yeah.
Then I went on, and it did go from 42 to 31 in that hour,
It
or
couldn't
in the
have,
past
because
in the past couple hours or day
it
or
was
something like
no,
that.
because you sent it to me last night, and then it was Sunday and Monday that Bitcoin was falling. Bitcoin fell Monday night, Monday or Monday night.
Well, the graph that I sent you showed the hour, and it
Yeah,
went from 42 to 31.
because
So I don't know.
I was watching it like falling, because we were all like, "There's no way Bitcoin's gonna go past 40K. It's that at a resistance point. It needs to like correct itself." So it fell to 31, and now I think it's balancing at 35, or is it back down?
It's balancing around 35, I think. Last time I checked it, yeah. Kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
crypto's not really something you should invest in, unless like if Bitcoin was to go down to 15K, I'd buy.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think crypto's the best kind of investment ever. You're much better
Yeah,
off investing in things like okay, I've been doing this for like 5 days. Okay, so I'm sorry if I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But you're better off investing in companies that are called blue chip, that are like steady, long term, always get good enough returns. They're not very rewarding, but they're consistently rewarding. So Starbucks is an example of one. Coca-Cola, I think, is another. Companies like that.
Yeah, I think I'd only buy it if it went really low, and even if it went up like $5,000, I'd probably still keep it, because eventually it's gonna skyrocket.
No, people are predicting that if Bitcoin falls really low again, projections of like up to 50,000.
Yeah, so like that's my point, is that like if I was to buy it at low, I would not sell until it got like over like 35K again. I wouldn't bother, because it's like eventually it will go past the point where like I'm gonna make a lot of money off this.
Yeah, right.
The only problem is, if I was to make a lot of money, I'd have to invest a lot of money.
True.
So
depends how much money you're thinking of investing. If it goes down below that point, I guess is the question.
Yeah, see, the thing is that like if I was to invest $1,000, I'd get a lot back. But if I was to invest 100 quid, I don't know if you can, but
you can invest minimum of 50.
Okay, so 50 quid, you wouldn't get much back from that.
I want to do the numbers on that later. Like if you were to invest €50 at 15,000 per share, where would that put you if it hit 50,000?
Well, I do know that if you bought like, was Bitcoin ever like 2 quid? Surely it was at the start.
Probably at the start, but like I don't know.
Like I was thinking, if you were to buy 100 shares or 100 Bitcoin, sorry, for 2 quid, that's 200 quid, right? You'd have like a couple million by a couple of weeks ago, right? When it was on like 28K, you'd have, and then especially 40K. So then like you'd have a couple of million, but like some people were crazy and bought like thousands of Bitcoin.
Yeah, see, that's
'Cause
nothing
they
but
were
luck,
like,
though, isn't it?
yeah, they were like, I see this thing going off, and they were like, he's like, there's no guarantee, but go ahead.
Because you
So
can't
like,
you can't
yeah,
like big up yourself and pretend you're really smart for investing in something like that really early. Because if you like, especially if they go like, if you invest like a decent amount, I'm like, okay, that's a very good choice on your behalf. But if you go all in, I can't exactly credit someone for doing that because that's such risky behavior. It's just like you kind of got lucky though.
you've also got to probably have inside knowledge.
It's not even.
Like,
I don't know who's
like,
the inside of Bitcoin, but
yeah, but like, you know how like a lot of people who do well in investing in stocks and all that is because like they have the inside track of everything. So like if they want to find something out, like how this is gonna go, they'll be able to know then. Kind of similar to how like you research your businesses, they basically just research everybody else's intel, and if it checks out, they're
I
like,
guess
okay,
the only thing
cool,
they
I'll
can really
sell.
do is compare notes with one another. You can't
Yeah,
if you're in a company, at least if you're a CEO, you can't sell shares when you want to or buy shares when you want to of your company because you know too much about the company.
yeah, but like it's the point of like people inside the company might tell a friend of theirs that likes to invest, and then their friend gets bank.
Yeah, I guess it depends who you are and what you do and how
Yeah.
illegal you're willing to go because that's definitely not legal.
Probably not. No,
Unless
I
they don't
mean,
have if they don't have a significant I doubt anyone that doesn't have a significant impact in the company would know how the company's going unless it was like some massive, like let's say some worker in Pfizer knew about the vaccine like a week before it came out. Like that's the only
yeah.
time when someone that wouldn't make a significant impact in the company could have that information. But other than that, you're kind of looking at uh, people of the higher ups that could give that kind of intel.
Which then probably becomes illegal. Yeah.
Yeah, because like let's say if you're a COO or something, and you tell your niece or something, "Hey, I want you to invest like 10,000 into our company because we're about to make a deal with this company that's going to rise our stock like this much."
Yeah.
That's illegal. So, but like let's say if that company was Pfizer, the person that's just boxing the vaccines or whatever, whoever the lowest person is, they wouldn't know that. So I don't know. It's all a bit much, and I'm very excited to continue my trend of learning on in financial, just finances in general.
Yeah. I'd like to like have a good inkling as to like what's going on with the whole thing, because sometimes it's smart, because even when Bitcoin started like going a bit crazy, there was a bit of news about it. So like if you invested then, you'd still probably make quite a lot of money because it still went up from then.
Yeah, so most of where Matthew gets his intel from is Yahoo Finance. They have
Yeah.
big stories and stuff on there. Obviously, you can follow like popular investors using different websites. That might give you a trail as well. But usually, it's like whatever the breaking news is. If you're new on that news, you could probably catch the trend on the way up. Because you don't need to be the first one on the trend. You just need to catch the trend on the way up.
Yeah. And the thing is as well is that like if you're well versed in investing by the time that happens, you're doing well.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why I hope by the time I can make a significant, or at least just a full time income, I will have a vast knowledge of finances and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm learning it now, kind of thing.
I will say certain things like Pfizer, their market is closed like nearly all the time.
At least as far as Nasdaq goes, their market is from 2:30 until 9. Nasdaq's market. So,
Oh, I haven't seen Nasdaq go down at all.
well, like it's
I've
not
only,
just the index. It's like Nasdaq is like 100 companies or whatever. So it runs off American time. So like it's like, well, like 2:30 our time to 9 o'clock our time is when the market's open. Whereas crypto's open all the time.
right, yeah.
So I'm not sure where Pfizer would fall under at all. So maybe it has different market. Maybe it doesn't. I have no idea.
Apparently the next trading day starts around 9 or around right now, so there's like nothing happening. Like you can't sell or buy or anything, I don't think.
Yeah, trading just closed, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be really cool if, like, imagine one day, like, because I really like, I really love being a programmer and coding and things, but imagine that being, like, not my main source of income, or at least not, like, if it was my main source of income, not by a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine? Because I read this quote somewhere where it was like, if you can get good at investing and figuring out your portfolio and balancing your stuff, you can do what you want with your life. Because you don't have to get a job because of its money, or you don't have to do this because of that. You can do what you want with an income. And I'm like, that is like, and they're like, oh, you see how many people fall under the rut of just, going to school, get in college, get a job, do that forever. That's it. Whereas,
Honestly, I still don't know what I want to do, and I'm going sem 2 of my first year of college, so like,
yeah, well, you could become a day trader for all you know. If you like
Yeah.
it, you mightn't like it, but
Or I could become the Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah, definitely.
Now that would be a life.
Yeah.
That would be something else. But I just don't think I'd be smart enough to pull off what he did.
Yeah.
Like that takes some good knowledge. I mean, everybody starts from somewhere, so there's a chance. But also, times have changed. There's a bit more how you say, procedures in place, so it's probably not as common. I could be wrong. I actually don't know, but I would say it's less common that like.
All I know is that even if you don't know what you want to do, I think if you could get your shit together behind your finances and like invest, I think even if you were still figuring out what you wanted to do, you could be making a sustainable income from investing. Not right now, but in a while.
I mean, it's kind of crazy though. People like live on that stuff.
Yeah, but like literally live. So I think that's really cool.
Well, I mean, I don't mean like in a good way. I mean like bad way. They like live on it.
Oh yeah,
like,
it can definitely
constantly
become
checking it.
Yeah, but like that's up to you to balance yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're long term investing, you'll only have to check once every couple of weeks once you have your stuff together.
True. I suppose it's the checking every hour, every minute to see, like, how and when you should buy and sell, which is kind of crazy. I don't understand people who can just do that every day, all day.
The answer is screens. 2 syllables, 1 word: cocaine.
Yeah, I guess.
Not everyone, but a lot of like high up business people don't have to be into finances.
High up business, yeah, but not like everyone.
Well, not everyone trades either.
True. Yeah, that's our trade talk. Let's get into as you would like it to be called, the afterlife.
Yeah, I feel like let's go a bit spiritual.
Yeah, let's get spiritual. Sure, I'm ready.
Okay,
lay it on me.
So, I guess the first question at hand is, what do we believe happens after life? And I guess I can start off by talking about this movie on Disney Plus that came out recently called Soul. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch that, please, because it's an amazing movie, at least in my opinion. I haven't thought it was okay.
I've seen that. Yeah, it didn't feel like a Disney movie, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, but I felt like that was in a good way.
It felt like a long, short film. Or film.
The idea behind it resonated with me. That's why I liked it so much.
I suppose, yeah.
So, I mean, I've been all sorts of ways with what happens in the afterlife. Growing up, going into primary school was very religious, so definitely believe in the whole heaven hell thing. Do your prayers, or you'll do this, blah blah blah.
Weirdly enough, my whole thing was religious too. We had a church down the road, but I never really thought about it that I never believed in it that crazily, and I never really prayed.
Yeah,
I kind of just rolled with it, and I was like, cool, okay, we have to go to this boring church again. That's just how it was for me. It was like, great.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
even then we'd only go Christmas and Easter, and that was it.
Yeah, I guess stepping into secondary school, then my whole hypotheses, I guess you'd call it, was put on its head, and I questioned basically everything. Um, Basically became atheist for a period of time, and had a lot of kind of an existential thoughts of like, where are we? What are we doing on this rock spinning in the middle of the earth or the space, and all this, and I guess you just once you have a lot of thoughts like that, you kind of just become okay with the thought of where you are and what you're doing and being in the present moment.
Yeah.
So when I watched the movie Soul, see, like, before I watched the movie, what way was I currently feeling about it? Well, I just felt like I didn't know, and I felt comfortable not knowing. But
Okay.
having watched Soul, it quite put me in a nice train of thought as to that is what could happen after death. And I guess for people that haven't watched the movie, basically, this guy dies, and when he
Shocker.
wakes up, he's on this, I guess, not treadmill, but what do they call it? An escalator.
No, they're not. It's not even an escalator. It's
Just call it a treadmill.
no. It's a thing that factories use.
Conveyor belt. There you go.
Yeah, he's on a conveyor belt.
He's
of
on a
sorts.
conveyor belt.
A mystical conveyor belt in the middle of nowhere, space.
Yeah, and he's on a conveyor belt on the way to this big bright light, and some people might go, "Oh, that's heaven," but it turned out to be some ominous sun star of some sort, where you zapped and died like a fly. And so he finds his way to break off out of this conveyor belt and falls into this what looks like the front page of No Man's Sky looking terrain. He falls into this lovely world where it's just a bunch of tiny
blobs.
blobs.
Not even blobs. They're not even blobs. They're fluffy.
Yeah, and
Fluffy blobs.
they're referenced to as souls, and basically they're young souls, and they're given personalities and different traits, and once they go through all of that, they find out what they like, and once they're more of a all well-round person, they can finally go into Earth, into which they are born. And the whole message of that movie is the traits given to you are not what define you. You is what defines you. And I really like that movie, but I guess I'm stemming away from the whole afterlife thing.
Well, it was really the last. It was really the last badge on that thing they had that was just purpose. It wasn't. It wasn't. Was it? No, it wasn't purpose. It was something else. It was just you, how you are, or something.
The last badge on the thing was what, like, your gift or whatever, your purpose, I guess, was what they said, actually, I think.
The entire movie was that it was a gift and it was a purpose, but then at the end he was like, it's not a purpose, it's a way of living or something like that. It was like something, mushy like that, because the whole movie he was giving out saying, living isn't a purpose, blah, 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 blah. You need an actual purpose because everybody else is doing archery and piano and, whatever else, swimming, and then she was there just living. So it was the kind of thing is that it's not, you don't have the gift of music or the gift of archery. You have the gift of just living, effectively, almost. I think that was the kind of message they tried to push.
Yeah, the message they kind of tried to push was be
comfortable
with who you are, because you're not defined by what makes you. You make yourself and you define yourself, and you should be comfortable in your own skin and living life the way you want to, because a quote I read that I actually live by is time spent happy is not time wasted. Spent wasted, not time wasted. Something like that. I'm after butchering the quote, but basically,
It's
not a
time.
waste of time if you enjoy it.
It's it's like time wasted that you enjoy is not time wasted or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like
wasting.
that.
Wasting time and enjoying it is not time wasted. Yeah, you know what I mean. We get it.
So basically, that was a really good movie, and it kind of put this idea in my head that maybe we are just spiritual, and maybe we go into different bodies when we die. Maybe we don't. But I'd like to think that there's some sort of spiritual presence that we can go to after we die. That we go into like become a different person, or we become a different entity. And it's not that we go to heaven and we're forever happy, it's that we do life again. But
let me tell you this, right? So you right now, like, you can figure out yourself, like, you can just say to yourself, like, and no, like, I know, let's say, let's not put words in your mouth, I know that I'm not like a reincarnation, you know, and what's the point of being reincarnated if all your memories wiped?
that's not what the point is that's the circle of it. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's not that you remember all your past lives, it's that everything in life has a cycle. Everything, to some degree, is in a cycle of some sort. And that's just part of life. It's not that, oh, I remember 400 years ago I was a snail. No, it's that the beauty of life is that you start again and you do it all over. And I don't know, I quite like the idea of that. I don't feel strongly about the afterlife because I'm comfortable being alive right now. Believe it or not, I am a teenager in 2021 and I don't want to die. What a shocker. Because the common narrative is, oh, I'm an edgy teenager, I want to die, haha. Whereas they mostly say that to fit in, but everyone is actually saying that to fit in, and not a lot of people feel that way. And there's a common narrative where, oh, haha, I have anxiety, oh, I have this, I have that, and it somehow feels cool to have these kind of medical things, or depression, or something. And it's so annoying. Because I believe that I have some sort of anxiety. And seeing people go like, oh, my hand is shaky, I have anxiety, haha, is like so desensitizing.
Yeah, I get that. In terms of, let's just break down yours and then we can get into mine. In terms of the whole, but see, the thing is, right, about a cycle is that, like, the afterlife, I think, is more so like what you actually experience. So are you saying that, like, you don't experience anything, you're just kind of deleted almost, and your soul is put into a new body rather than you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your soul lives on. You're not your soul.
So your traits and your abilities and your way of life almost kind of just moves on to someone else, some new baby, rather than you yourself and your mind moving on.
Yes.
Okay. I suppose that's kind of like, yeah. I mean, there's no way to fact check any of what we're saying, because even what I'm about to say, you can't fact check, because nobody's died and, like, known exactly. Like, I know people have died and come back and been like, I saw this, I saw that, I saw my memories, I saw white light, I saw Jesus, whatever it may be. But I will say that for me, I think that, I've never really had great thought about it. As I said, I've just kind of, like, as a kid, you don't really, honestly. I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't think heaven's a thing. Kind of seems a bit BS to me. Hell, really? That's just kind of my my thought process. And it's only really, like, recently, I guess, that I've just been, like, kind of wondering. I don't know if it's come up in conversation or if somebody's, like, if I'm just thinking about it, say. But I have seriously no clue. I mean, I'd like to think that there's some sort of other thing. I would appreciate if it was something you experienced rather than something that just happens. But that would be kind of crazy considering there's like years and years of dead people. So to have them all in like one place or even in their own place, I don't know how much I don't know how much spiritual space that would take up. But I don't know. I think it would be tough to believe in something that you experience. I think it's actually probably easier for me to believe that your soul is like thrown into someone else, but that wouldn't, like, I would need to like 100% believe that like everybody has like a legitimate soul as well. Like, I'm not really sure. I have no like concrete opinion about like souls or spirits or anything like that. Like, I don't believe in ghosts, if that's any
Yeah,
consolation.
see,
I don't know if that helps.
I have no experience with ghosts, but I don't not believe in them. Do you get me?
I believe in aliens. I do not believe in ghosts.
Oh, of course you believe in aliens. It's because they
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah, they exist. They just don't want to come to us because we're idiots.
No, they've probably been to us.
No, they've been to us, but they don't want to communicate with us because we're idiots.
No, I think that's due to the government. I'm pretty sure we'll probably talk about this in a podcast to come, but I'm pretty sure the FBI have just released a massive amount of documents on aliens because they've been given 180 days to do so.
Well, there's this. I think it's episode 5 of the Untold Mysteries or something, or Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. Unsolved, yeah. And there's this town in Massachusetts that 250 people saw the same thing at the same time on the same night in the sky. One person, she kind of was like taken away effectively. Like, she just woke up on like a table. I think she said that there were like other kids around, like all on different tables as well. And then when she came to, her mom and her sister or something and her dad were all gone. And to this day, she still like blows up computers and lights and stuff when, like, sometimes when she touches them. It's not like all the time, but it's like there's a chance that if she touches like a light, it'll just like it's either she explodes, like blows up or fries computers, or she turns on lights. Or it's both anyways. It's definitely lights and computers. I just don't know if she turns on the lights or if she blows them out. I can't really tell. I can't really remember.
See, when some people come to that's kind of tying into the, oh, I died, this is what I saw, and they like think like, oh, everyone must believe me. It's like, no one's really going to believe you because there's a lot of people.
There's another guy who himself and his brother both had experiences, and they both came back with marks, which they didn't have before. One guy had marks on his wrist. His brother had a puncture on his chest and behind his ear. So those are the things that are like, okay, I kind of believe it now. 100%.
Yeah,
there's no, you can't just magically get marks.
I also hate magically believing people. Unlike, I kind of you tend towards more hard evidence like the marks, but when some woman's like, oh, someone abducted this, it's like it's either hysteria or it's someone trying to gain more popularity out of something that happened.
Yeah.
It always is.
What I will say, though, is that for 250 people in a town to all have seen the same thing at the same time on the same night, and then I was watching a video, it's, Yes Theory, do you?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So, but they basically watched that thing and then went, cool, we want to go there and talk to them. When they went there, they were supposed to meet with the sheriff to ask about the phone calls that were basically redacted that from that night. When they went, they said he won't be back till tomorrow. He'll be here between 2 and 6 or something like that. They went back the next day, and as they came driving into the driveway, like 2 sheriff cars also came in like the same time, greeted them at like before they even went in. It was like, oh, the sheriff's not here today, and he was like, well, can you contact him? He was like, even I can't contact him. They were trying to like, basically the sheriff was, and I'm very sure the sheriff was inside, but it was like, didn't want to talk about the fact that the calls were redacted and stuff, because chances are the government swooped in and went, So there was like a lot of things that kind of led to it being true, and then you hear these individual stories, which is like, okay, it's kind of weird that this happened, and you have proof, bodily proof, and there's 249 people who will back you up. It is a bit odd, alright, but in terms of ghosts, then like meh. I know we kind of got off track there.
No, that's fine. That's kind of the best podcast is when you get off track. It's ghosts is like that. I believe I just don't have any experience with them, so I don't have reason to not believe in them. You know what I mean?
Well, I do think those ghost hunters are just bullshit, though.
Yeah, so do I. But it doesn't mean they're not real. Like it doesn't mean that ghosts aren't real. Like spirits aren't real. Do you get what I'm saying?
I guess.
Like ghost hunters are exactly my point of people playing on a thin line already. That's why I hate when someone's like, I died and this is what happened. I'm like, no, I can't believe you at all. I'm sorry. Because
when someone says I went into cardiac arrest, I was dead for 2 minutes, and I saw a lot of my memories, I'd understand that. But that's probably just a mental thing. But when it's like I talk to God, it's like, bro.
It's like, bro, shut up, okay?
you have a belief, so your mind went, let's give you this dream because you know you're dying. So your brain went, dream, dream, dream. Oh, here's God because you think you're dying. Chances are that's just what happened.
It is known that when you die, a bunch of chemicals get released in your brain anyway.
Yeah, so it's, there's no guarantee. Probably just saw a vision or a dream or something. But yeah, in terms of dying anyway. Back on track real quick, like fully. In terms of dying, I don't know whether you have an experience, whether it's just like a cycle where your soul is redone or something's redone. I don't know whether it's just, that's it. You're gone. Maybe you're, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Another worry, I guess I would call this a worry.
Right.
Because I'm also kind of worried and also kind of think that like it could be the same experience you have when you sleep, where you just like knock
Dream
out and
forever?
that's no, not dream, just knock out and that's it. Just black.
I just can't justify how that makes sense.
Except you just never wake up and there's no dreams because, your brain's not active. Like, that's kind of a worry of mine, is that, like, what if it's just black and then there's nothing else?
Yeah, it's a hard thought to process. And I guess one thing is, although I'm a man of anxiety, I have zero worries about death, regardless of what the outcome is.
I have worries about getting hurt, but I don't think I have many worries about
the action of dying. It's life after death. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, I could be a bit nervous getting hit by a truck or something, or getting a terrible disease, but that's not dying. That's not being dead. That's dying. I have no worries about being dead.
It's not necessarily that I'm like constantly worrying. It's just the fact that like I'd rather not. You know what I mean? So it's easier just to like I'd rather not that happens. So it's kind of easier just to say I worry that it will.
I have seen though that one woman. This was before she died, right? She was describing the process. Or was it? Yeah, no, sorry. She like died and came back to life, right? But she described her process of like the few minutes before she died and how it felt, not like what happened when she was dead or whatever, okay? And she said she felt like all her worries completely went away. She felt nothing but like euphoria, which completely makes sense of brain endorphins releasing, right? And she kind of felt weightless. And then she died, and then she woke up or whatever. That's kind of what she felt, and that's the only thing I can believe that. Like, why wouldn't I believe that? It doesn't make me feel like an idiot. That kind of feels. It doesn't seem too far reached, is what I'm trying to say.
The only thing is that there are a lot of times where people die, and it's like I don't know what they're called, but it's like, the aggressive breathing and kind of like not screaming, but like aggressive inhalation and exhalation, where like it almost sounds. There's a poem. Is it Emily Dickinson? I think there's a poem where it's called the heaves of trouble is what she calls them, or something like that. where it's like it's just like excruciating. It sounds like excruciating. So I don't know if that happens to everybody. Hopefully it doesn't, and maybe it just happened to not happen to her. Also, I think it mostly happens like when you're literally like 1 second from dying, it starts happening, because it's like your body is naturally trying to get more oxygen or something without your brain telling it to do it or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think I don't necessarily think about death, because it's like, why worry about what's to come? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this past year isn't a great time to say it, but I'd rather have a good, fulfilled life where I enjoy many things, and never worry about death, even if it comes early, because what's the point, you know? Like, if death's knocking at my door too early, I'd rather be like, okay, then I never did this, I never did that, you know? I'd rather just chill. Be like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
Take me,
that's
fine,
that's
whatever.
why I observe the thought of death, and I believe what I want to, because that's my opinion, and it relaxes me. I'm like, okay, that's what's to come. What's the rush? I'm trying to take on a very hard mentality of living presently, living in the present moment, and it's really working. It's really helping with my mood and my anxiety, just living in the moment, being grateful for where you are, what you're doing, who you are, who you're with.
So we're going skydiving, are we?
I will definitely go skydiving with you in my lifetime.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Well, lucky you.
As you turn around, you see there's a camera right there. You're on a show. We've won 2 tickets. Yay!
Would you actually go if I had 2 tickets right now?
Yeah, I would.
Fact.
100%.
Well,
I don't have a lot of fear in doing new things anymore. I don't know where that fizzled from. Like, I don't know where my fear of doing new things has evaporated from. But if I'm going to do something new, like, I get a little bit anxious, but everyone gets butterflies. Everybody.
yeah, no, trust me. Like, I want to go skydiving, but there is a 100% chance that I will literally need 3 pairs of pants when I go up.
Like, I'll be very scared, but I think,
yeah.
I don't know, I kind of take on the what would have been anxiety and kind of turn into like motivation to do it.
I suppose it's kind of as well, the more anxious you are going up to something, when you do it, it's like, oh, this is bliss. Because you kind of like almost conquered a fear, effectively.
Yeah, so I feel like I've kind of gotten into the habit of doing that, and it's really satisfying.
And the fear comes with something lovely. Like, you can conquer a fear of spiders by putting yourself in a cage of spiders, but that's not fun. You don't get enjoyment out of it. But you get enjoyment out of seeing the world from like 30,000 feet.
Yeah,
like,
that's
definitely class.
Like, if I'm afraid of spiders, so be it, man.
Yeah.
I can live if I was afraid of spiders, right? I am afraid to an extent, but like, I'll kill spiders if they come in my house, kind of thing. But like, I can live for the rest of my life peacefully being afraid of spiders. I don't need to conquer that fear, you know?
Yeah, like there's like scary fears, and then there's like irrational fears. I think skydiving is an irrational fear. Spiders are like scary fears.
Yeah. Well, now, of course, I'm trying to take
some would say it's still irrational to be scared of spiders, but I think there's a difference, because, like, I'm on your side here, by the way. I'm not trying to go against you here. I'm saying that, like, I would not want to conquer a scary fear, because there's no satisfaction in it. Whereas, like, you know, and like, if I was to go scuba diving with sharks, that's not fun. I would hate that, because I think if you get overwhelmingly like scared fear, then you're not going to enjoy yourself. It's like when if a spider's on me, right? If I wake up and there's a spider on me, I literally nearly have a panic attack, because it's like, I hate these things. It's a phobia. Okay, there you go. Phobia versus fear. There's a big difference. I have a phobia of spiders, but I do not have a phobia of jumping out of a plane. And I don't think heights is a phobia. I mean, technically it is, but like, I don't think it's as like creepy crawly scary.
What I was trying to say is I'm not trying to take you literally on the fear of like the arachnophobia that you might have. What I'm saying is that you can have fears and live a good life and have it not affect you at all, really. Like if I'm afraid of snakes, right? I might come into like contact with like 3 to 4 snakes in my lifetime. I know, like
even that I doubt you would.
Exactly. So, why worry about conquering it? You know, you should conquer stuff that holds you back. I feel like that's almost a life tip in itself. Conquer stuff that holds you back. But
skydiving doesn't hold me back. I just want to do it.
No, you can obviously conquer other stuff, but you know, as in, it's kind of a inclusive thing. There is, you know, do stuff on your bucket list, obviously, but also you should only feel the need.
Bro.
Like I don't feel the need to go skydiving to conquer my fear of skydiving.
No, I want to do it because I think it's like, well, if I'm gonna die, let's do it flying out of a plane.
Yeah. So the only,
it ties into the worry. Why worry if you're gonna die? So be it.
Basically, what I'm saying is you should only feel the need to conquer a fear if it's actually something you feel you could benefit from in your life. Like, obviously, see, as I'm saying, you don't feel the need to go skydiving. You just want to. There's a difference there.
Yeah, I think, like, fear of open spaces, fear of, you know, talking to crowds, fear of being in a crowd. I think those things are kind of like, those would hold you back, and I think it's good to conquer those, because it's like, you know, it would make you feel good. I think there's a big difference. Yeah, I think you should only conquer things that would make you feel good and that hold you back, because there's no point conquering something that you're just going to still feel terrible after. Because once you finish on stage, you're going to be like, whew, and you're going to be so happy and satisfied. Once you, I mean, the crowds and the open spaces, it depends how you feel about those things, but I'd say as far as a couple things going, like, yeah, I think it would make you feel good. But what I will say is that I would love to skydive over the Tianzi Mountains. Oh my god. Wouldn't that be a head rush, huh? My god. I think that's like a bucket list buy too, because, well, there's nowhere to land, so maybe not, because you'd have to like land on the edge of a mountain, which would be very tough and dangerous, and also there's no way to get off, because it's like they're like floating almost. It's like landing on one of the things from Avatar, and there's no way to get off because you don't have your dragon thingy. So yeah, but still would be cool. Might get a helicopter ride. That would be sick. Did they do that? We need to figure this out before we go on our Asian trip. We need to figure it out. Because even though we're going to Korea, we're definitely going to Tianzi Mountains as well. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's definitely up there, you know, and it can all be done through the value of investing.
Yeah, just trying to bring it back around, is it?
I guess
this week as well, I actually have a Life Pro tip sorted.
Really?
Yeah, I did it just before this.
Wow. Go ahead.
Last time we forgot. This is just a general tip. It's not advice. It's literally just a tip. If you have to climb on a chair to reach for something, let the backrest face the wall.
Why?
I wish I had more info. I can pull it up if you need that. But I'm assuming it makes it more structurally sound, so that because the back.
If you lose balance standing on a chair, you will make a step in that direction. Having the backrest behind you might seem safer, like a handrail, but most backrests are actually too low to help you. They will prevent you from making a step to regain your balance, and worst case, you'll fall over the backrest. If the backrest faces the wall, you can step off the chair in any direction.
How did you find it quicker than I did?
Because I was already looking for life pro tips.
Oh. Also, make sure it's not a rocking chair. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I guess that's good advice. Not many
But I
times I
do
catch
also
myself
see.
standing on a chair, but when I do,
But if
I
you
mean,
also, I saw this. There's a comment here. If you put it on to the side, you can use the backrest as a handrail. So,
yeah,
I think it depends what your job you're doing. If you're not trying to reach up high, then yeah, use the handrail method. But if you're trying to like grab something with two hands and you can't like hold on to the chair, you can't like steady yourself, it's probably best to put the back against the wall. Where would you stand though? Like to make what? Think about this real quick. What's the best place to stand to make it so that the chair doesn't like fly out from underneath you?
Depends where you're trying to reach.
If you put it against the wall and you're reaching above the wall, let's say you put it against a wardrobe and you're trying to reach on top of the wardrobe. So
You'd stand closest to the wardrobe.
would that help not push it out?
Yeah, because the backrest would act as like a force against the wardrobe, and it wouldn't slide underneath you.
I suppose yeah. I mean, if it's a rolling chair, then yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's not got wheels.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be safer to put it against a wall and stand facing away from the wall. Because then, wall. Why did I say it like that? Wall. Because then, if you do push back against it, it's only going to hit the wall and it won't like fly. Worst comes to worst, you're going to just fall off. And you're not going to like break your ankle or anything. Hopefully.
Yeah.
The real life pro tip is don't stand on chairs. That's pretty much it.
I guess so, yeah.
If you can, please avoid it. That's it. We're sorted. We're done. We're chilling.
We are chilling, guys. That has been Chat Lab episode 25.
Whoa! We're a quarter way to 100.
Yes, we are.
See that now.
Well,
that's us being proactive little.
Guess that wraps it up for this week, folks.
Folks, that's all, folks.
Yeah, so without further ado, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.